Good day, everyone. We are the Group 8. I'm Tan and I'm with Tabanao and Talaver. Today, we are going to talk about the social and emotional problems. Kung ano ba ito, ano-ano ang mga epekto nito, at paano natin matutulungan ang mga students who deals with it. So, ang two main cause of social and emotional problem is mental health and child abuse. We have a wide knowledge about the child abuse. It occurs when a child is abused with many things like pag binubugbog sila, pag minamaliit, especially yung mga guardians or parents nila. After ma-abuse ang mga bata, it's not just okay to them, especially ang mga bata ay very sensitive emotionally, and dito papasok si mental health. There are many people says that mental health and mental illness are the same, but they are different because mental health ay pinapakita ang ating emotional, psychological, at social well-being which affects yung ating feelings, kung paano tayo mag-isip at kung paano tayo kumilos. Everyone have a form of mental health. It is like physical health. If we talk about mental health, we talk about a state of well-being. Ibig sabihin, having positive mental health, we can realize our own abilities which lead us kung paano tayo makakontribute ng maayos sa iba. Kung meron tayong positive mental health, we can overcome everyday stresses and we can positively contribute to our society. And like we all get sick, our mental health also sometimes have negative effects which will cause to emotional distress or hindi na tayo makaisip ng maayos. It sometimes triggers if we lose a job, if di tayo pumasa sa exam, o mababa yung grades natin. It will trigger someone's a negative mental health. Kaya if meron tayong magiging estudyanteng may symptoms na ito, as a teacher, we are one of those people who can help them. And kung isa tayo na meron ding symptoms nito, we need to solve this. At kung ano ang dapat nating gawin, just stand by dahil i-report ito ng kasama ko. So next is mental illness. Refers to condition affects a person's thinks, feelings, mood, or behavior. Kung yung mental health ay nakakaapekto kung paano makipag-deal ang isang bata o tao sa kapwa nila, yung mental illness naman ay is how we feel inside ourselves. Kung ano yung mga bagay na gusto at reaksyon natin sa sarili natin. Mental health is parang physical health natin na we need to be healthy for us to be productive. We need to exercise yung physical health natin para hindi laging magkasakit. Kung nagkakasakit yung physical health natin, our mental health also get mentally ill. And ito yung difference nila. Kung nagkakasakit yung physical health natin, yung mental health o yung kaisipan natin ay nagkakasakit din. And ito yung mental illness. So, ano ba ang mga example ng mental illness? One of the example of mental illness is manic depression ay very high energy states, which mean mania. Hindi na sila makatulog for how many days at nag-hallucinate na din sila hanggang umabot na ito sa paranoid range. Sa mental health, meron ding case ng depression, but sa mental illness, ito yung version niya ng depression, which is a child or a person must need to be treated and need the help of doctors and psychologists. Next is schizophrenia. It is a serious mental disorder na some people na may ganitong symptoms ay ini-interpret nila ang reality to abnormally. Like nag-hallucinate na sila kung ano-ano na ang iniisip nila negatively. And ang behaviors nila, like ayaw nila lumapit sa mga tao kasi ganito, ganyan ang iniisip nila. Did you know that Nobita is a real person? Na meron siyang schizophrenia na kung saan siya ay nag-hallucinate na may Doraemon sa buhay niya. At nung sinabi niya ito sa mga kaibigan niya ay tinawanan lang siya, which caused him to commit suicide at the age of 16 due to mental pain. The most common forms of mental health problems for children and young people are emotional disorders such as anxiety, phobias, and depression. So if we have emotional disorders, meron tayong anxiety or hindi na tayo sure sa mga decisions natin dahil balisa tayo. We also have phobias which will lead us mga students natin to be socially active kasi takot na sila makipaghalubilo sa iba. Next is hyperkinetic disorders such as attention deficit or hyperactivity disorder. Ang hyperkinetic naman ay yung student or person ay madali lang madistract or hindi sila nagpe-pay attention sa mga bagay-bagay at sila din ay impulsive o mapusok, which mean na they act without thinking or yung mga ugali nila ay bahala na si Batman. Next is balikan natin si child abuse. Child abuse refers to ill treatment of children. Abuse can be physical, yung pag binubugbog sila. Sexual, ito yung pag nirape ang isang tao or bata. Ito ay sexually abused. Emotional, so ang emotional, ito yung true words pag may naririnig silang masasakit na salita at dinadamdam nila ito. Next is neglect. Ito yung mga batang pinabayaan na kanilang mga magulang. Child protection in the Philippines is mandated in law. Republic Act No. 7610, the Special Protection of Children Against Child Abuse. Other decrees make it more explicit what action will be undertaken. Some targeted areas are child labor and prostitution. So, inimplement ang batas na ito para sa mga batang na-abuse ng kanilang parents o ng kahit sino paman. Ang sino mang lumabag sa batas na ito ay makukulong at pag nalaman na ang guardians or parents nila ang may kasalanan ay makukulong ito at yung mga batang na-abuse ay ilalagay sa pangangalaga ng DSWD. So next is, paano natin marirecognize ang social and emotional problems na iuulat ni Tabanaw.
Recognizing social and emotional problems. Risk factors for developing mental health problems are this: disability. Learners with some disabilities are overrepresented in mental health prevalence data, or learning disabilities. One example of this is the dyslexia, which is the student encounter the difficulties in reading due to problems identifying speech, sounds, and learning how they relate to letters and words. The second social and emotional problems are family history of mental health problems, family trauma, death, divorce, new marriage, family, other health or development problems such as physical illness. These are some factors that contribute to mental health problems are biological factors, which means genes or chemistry. The second is life experience, which is the person experiencing abuse or trauma. The third, social and emotional problems. Communication difficulties are sometimes referred to as speech, language and communication needs or communication disabilities. These terms describe people who have difficulty with one or more aspect of communication. Their thoughts and speech may be jumbled and disconnected. The fourth, social and emotional problems is low self-esteem or self-concept. Can affect social and emotional aspect. It is because people with low self-esteem tend to feel less sure of their abilities and may doubt their decision making. For example, the child really wants to draw but they feel not motivated to try because they don't believe they are capable of reaching their goals. Fifth, having no friends. Effects of having no friends can also affect your social and emotional aspect because it can lead to feeling of loneliness, fear of others, or negative self-esteem. Sixth, social and emotional problems. Bullying. If the person experiencing this, it can cause a big impact on his physical and emotional levels. Some effects of this are comprise anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, lack of self-esteem that can lead into social and emotional problems. Lastly, low socioeconomic circumstances can also affect our social and emotional aspect. For example, our family having a low budget for paying the bills and they don't have enough savings for it to pay. Now, you are thinking where to get a money for you to be able to pay those bills. So, by thinking, it can cause stress that lead to social and emotional problems.
Protective factors for prevention in mental pain problems. Kung ano-ano ang mga kailangan natin gawin as a future teacher to help our students who have a bad mental health problems. And ibibigay natin ang time kay Ruth to explain it.
Start by saying you have noticed some changes and how things is going. So for example, if you notice that the learner's mood is parang iba and that's the time na kausapin sila tapos tanungin kung anong nangyari, ba't nag-iba yung mood nila. And if the learner share it to you, syempre, pagkatapos ng pag-share niya sa'yo, you will give an advice para naman malasan yung problema na iniisip niya. Work with families. So, sa work with families is parang same lang siya sa communicate with the parents. Kasi, if you work with your family, like, wala kayong nagiging problema, like, naiintindihan mo parents mo, naiintindihan ng parents mo, ikaw, syempre sa situation na ganun, wala kayong magiging problema kasi okay naman lahat, nag-work naman lahat ng mga pinagsasamahan nyo. So, better if you work with your family. Create a safe place. So, dito is kailangan nila ng peace of mind. Kaya pupunta sila sa lugar kung saan tahimik or komportable sila para dito makakonsentrate sila sa kanilang sarili at sa kanilang problema kung paano ba ito solusyonan ng mabuti. Actively listen to the learners. So, if they choose to disclose to the teacher, so, yun na yung pag gusto nila mag-open up sa teacher or mag-share ng problem nila about sa nangyayari sa life niya. So, we as a teacher, kailangan nating makinig or makinig muna tayo sa kanilang mga sasabihin upang hindi sila ma-feel na parang hindi tayo interesado sa kung anong kinekwento niya about sa life niya. So tayo na teacher, kailangan nating mag-give advice sa kwento niyang problema para hindi lumala ang kanyang mental health. Advice of the other learners might prefer to talk with friends. So, syempre, as a student, hindi mo lang kailangan opinion ng isa. Syempre, kailangan mo ding opinion na iba or advice ng iba para mas maintindihan mo o nila ang problemang pinagdadaanan mo. Syempre, pag mag-share ka sa kanila, may advice talaga na binibigay sila sa'yo, like mga good advices. So, if feel mo naman na tama yun, syempre, you need to put it in your life para maging okay ito. Not be aware that the treatment is available. So, for example, yung mga may yung mga nakakaranas ngayon ng depression, hindi nila alam na kapag pumasok sila ng rehab is magiging mas okay sila doon kasi mas naano yung health nila, mas na titignan. Ang iniisip kasi ng mga tao once na rehab, baka mas maging loko-loko, mas maging iba yung ugali, mga ganun. Pero mas better if aware yung mga tao na yung treatment sa mga ganun is pwede available siya. Blame themselves. So, dito is, for example, pinagalitan ka ng parents mo, tapos lumayas ka, tapos hinanap ka nila for ilang days, akala nila may nangyari na sa yung masama. Tapos parang na ano yung parents, yung nanay mo, parang naaapektuhan na yung health niya dahil sa paghahanap sa'yo. So yun, parang sinisisi mo sa sarili mo kasi kapag hindi ka lumayas, sana hindi nagkasakit yung nanay mo, hindi nangyari yung mga ganun. Pero hindi naman yung dahil sa'yo kasi if hindi ka siguro nila sinigawan that day, hindi mangyayari din yun. So, positive home environment. So, dito is yung mas maganda pag positive people lang yung mga kasama mo sa bahay kasi like for example may nagawa kang kasalanan, 'di ba? Pag ibang parents pa 'yan, papagalitan ka or yayaw-yawan ka kasi mali na naman to, ganyan-ganyan. Pero pag may positive parents ka, syempre sasabihin nila na okay lang yan anak, bawi na lang sa susunod, ganun. So, kung may positive home environment ka na ganun, mas okay siya kasi hindi siya nakaka-affect sa'yo. Kasi sa ibang mga student kasi once na bumaba yung grades nila, tapos sinabi nila sa parents nila, syempre, yung ibang parents magagalit kasi bakit ganyan, ba't bumaba, anong ginagawa mo, baka hindi ka pumapasok ng school, ganun yung mga iniisip nila. Kaya mas better if you have a positive home environment.
Checklist. For me, checklist is very essential as a teacher in order for us to identify and check the students in terms of having a disability so that we are aware and give the right accommodation and adjustment.